And that is how you adjust levels on a podcast.
Booyah kacha.
Booyah kacha? Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
It's like booyah, but with a little splash.
Oh, I didn't know if I was like Korean. Wrong button. Welcome back to the Moist Monday podcast, everyone. Hopefully everyone's having a fantastic Monday, a fantastic whatever day you're listening to this podcast. We're back, baby, even though it doesn't feel like it, but I feel like we haven't recorded in a long time.
Hey, bud.
That's his response to my... How you doing, dude?
I'm doing so good.
Happy Moist Monday. Cheers. Man, you're still drinking a Corona. Family. He gets it. If you guys aren't following the Fast and the Furious series, then...
The Moist and the Monday. Does this episode come out after the series is done, do you think?
This will come out during the series, but
probably
I don't know.
around like 7 or 8, I bet.
That's going to be the weird part. What if this is like way before? No, it's not.
It can't be before.
It's not before. But we've been diving into Fast and Furious, so if you guys haven't been watching that or listening to that, because you're like, what the fuck does this title mean? It's all about Fast and the Furious, so click on it. It's really fun.
Yeah, well, we're releasing them every Tuesday as long as the series is.
Yeah, 10 weeks.
And after that,
maybe more.
We might do other movies. We'll see.
But we talking about too many movies, too many times on Tuesdays. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Too Fast, Too Furious Tuesdays.
Too Fast, Too Furious Tuesdays.
Two's Moist.
So I don't want to talk about movies too much because this is the main feed. This is the main audience. This is the main
OG fans.
This is for the people that listen while they're at work.
For us.
They listen for us. They want to hear
They don't want to hear more about Fast and Furious. They want to hear about us.
Yeah, they don't want to hear about Dom and Brian.
No, they
want
want
to hear Jacob
Rob
and Rob.
and Jake. Well,
Rob and Jake?
I don't know. I tried to like douchebag our names up. No offense to all the Robs and Jakes out there.
Chicago Rob and California Jake.
Oh, God.
It just makes it even worse. Those are California Jake. No, you would have a different name. I'm Chicago Rob for sure. But what would your something Jake or Jake something?
Fuck, it's gonna be dead air while I think so. Skip forward.
Put in the Jeopardy theme here.
Because you were Chicago.
Chicago Rob. It's tough, dude. I mean, you don't have to think of something on the spot. I literally just threw you in.
California Jake.
I mean, it doesn't sound right. It sounds gross, but so does the name Jake.
But like Chicago Rob sounds so good. And I like Chicago Rob, who's very pointy.
It's smooth.
He was very, there's a lot of that.
He's a late night
I don't know where Jake belongs. Because Rob belongs in Chicago.
Well, Jake can belong wherever you want.
Yeah, I don't know where I want him.
Jake St. Paul.
St. Paul Jake?
No, but it was a play on Jake Paul. Jake St. Paul. You're like his brother. It's such a stupid joke. It made me laugh really hard, though. So...
I feel like Miami Jake.
Miami Jake. Fast and Furious.
That's where it came from, yeah.
Chicago Rob and Miami Jake.
But like Miami Jake, he's got open button up.
Oh, Hawaiian shirts, which is what you like. Dude, I feel like, and these are two friends that you don't think would be friends, but somehow they clicked and now they're racing cars and we're talking Fast and the Furious again.
No,
Just
we're not.
kidding.
We're not. This is the main feed.
But we're going to talk about something else that's disgusting, and that's McDonald's. Because I have something.
Oh, that's what you wanted to talk about?
I have 3 topics today.
Okay, let's go through.
The first one is... so I'm still eating McDonald's.
Me too.
Like once a week.
Yep.
And it's terrible.
Yeah. I had it 4 days ago, I think.
Okay. So I don't know if you've noticed this or maybe this is just me because I've been thinking this for a while and I had it a couple days ago and it cemented it into my mind that this is a thing. Did they change the recipe for the McDouble? Have you noticed?
I have not noticed. What recipe is there?
It just tastes different.
So I've noticed that it depends on the McDonald's.
No, but like, okay, I've been going to the same one, but I've noticed like it tastes differently, and I'm not saying like bad differently.
Okay,
it just tastes differently, and I know you get your McDouble.
Is it a lot of pepper?
No, it's mustardy.
I don't get mustard on mine.
See, this is why you don't, because you just get ketchup only.
Yep.
But this is like, here's what I've noticed is it tastes differently.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's just more mustardy, and also I feel like the bun is softer.
I think that depends on the day.
But this has happened multiple times. I've noticed over like 4 or 5 visits over like a month
Because my
that it's tasted more mustardy and softer.
notice is that they raised it another 50 cents recently.
Yeah, it's so fucking
It used
stupid.
to be.
Because now it's not even like you're not even getting a good deal on
Do
it.
you remember the old dollar menu? How fucking awesome that was. Small fries, McChicken,
Well, and also
McDouble.
any size drink for $1. I think they still do that.
I think so too. But like parfait, like everything was on the dollar menu.
And you could literally get like a full fucking meal for $5. Yeah. Which is insane. And now it's like
I think
I get a McDouble small fry, and then I think I got my order on Saturday was a McDouble small fry and a small Oreo McFlurry, and it was like $7. And I was like, what?
Because now at this point, a McDouble and a small fry costs $3.50.
Yeah, so that's half.
Yeah, Jesus,
That's insane.
So
dude.
what I used to do?
Because a McDouble and small fry is good, but it's like not. That's why I would always throw a McChicken on there.
So I like 2 McDoubles. So I do 2 McDoubles, 2 small fries, and a drink, and that's That's like $9.
Yeah, that's almost $10, and it's like,
And that used to be probably a $5 meal.
and you can still get a KFC Famous Bowl for $5,
Yeah.
less than.
Well, you can
No,
get,
with tax, I think it's about 5.
probably. Yeah.
But it's still like, McDonald's, what are you doing? Maybe because they were, I don't know. That
I
doesn't.
mean, inflation hurts everybody, and also they started paying their employees an actual livable wage.
Okay, so I mean, good for them.
There, you make like starting is like at least 12.
Oh, damn, good for you, Ronald.
What was your first job pay?
I started $8.75,
Really? Because mine was like $7.50. And I remember after a year, I got an 8-cent raise.
8 cent
At Walgreens.
Isn't that stupid? You get cent raises.
No, like, don't give me anything. The fact that we had a meeting over you giving me an 8-cent raise, way more
because
insulting.
like literally that means nothing.
No,
that
yeah.
literally doesn't. If
Go
anything,
fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I make $7.83 now.
'Cause do you know why I quit that job?
Wait, you quit Walgreens? No.
Yeah. So
So that was your first job, was Walgreens?
Yes, I worked
And you
there.
worked there for
a
like
little over a year.
Yeah.
Like probably 14, 15 months.
Well, did you start working there because your mom worked there? Is that why you started?
Kind of. Like I remember applying to a few
But also,
places.
we used to go to Walgreens a lot. Mm-hmm.
And it was-
it's dope. I
Yeah.
love Walgreens.
Yeah, it's great. My mom still works there, so she works there like I think 3 hours a week, but we still get our discount, so it's awesome.
I gotta memorize your mom's phone number so I can start using it.
You do.
I'll text her and get it.
If you text her, you have her phone number.
I'll text you.
There you go.
Actually, I might have your.
I bet you do. Yeah.
Ian. We'll bleep it.
Okay. So anyway, so when I worked there, I was 16 because I got the job immediately.
Oh, you got your job. Okay,
because I had to pay for my car.
makes sense.
Yep. So while I was there, which would have been 10 years ago,
It doesn't that suck?
I've been working for 10 years.
Yeah, and we're just getting started.
Holy shit.
We were literally reminiscing before the podcast while we were eating dinner, and it was like we were
have
talking
40
about
years left.
yeah, and we were talking about things we had done like in high school and stuff, and I was like, and now we're just fucking sitting here on a Monday night eating chicken and drinking. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Do you not like eating chicken? And
No, I
drinking?
mean it was awesome, but it was like we used to make a Tower of Arnold Palmer, and we used to
Yeah.
do all these things, and now we're just fucking adults.
We're still rambunctious.
I know, but it's not. When you're a kid, you have this freedom.
No boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like you think you have the whole world and the whole life ahead of you,
'cause the
and now
crazy
you're
thing-
in your mid-20s and you go, this fucking sucks.
Well, I mean, but like the crazy thing is, like right now I do have the whole world because like I own a house. I can do anything I want to it. I just don't.
Yeah, you just don't. That's the problem. Is
Because also I want a nice house. So like I'm not gonna like build a tower of like cans.
yeah,
Because like when a kid, I was like, oh, it's my parents' house. It's fun.
yeah, and it was fun.
Yeah.
and we could shoot it with a blow dart.
Yeah. Which I do kind of want to do now. I do
See, it's
still have my
fun.
blow dart. Anyways, okay. So this was my first job fucking 10 years ago, which bums me out. Anyways,
I started work at 16 too.
yeah. So I remember once this person came in to buy cigarettes and alcohol. And
Edgy,
and I was legally not able to process the payment.
because you're under it. You can't even sell cigarettes back then because you weren't 18.
I think so, yeah. Because also, like, now you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes.
That sucks.
Yeah.
We'll do a cigar. We already did a cigar episode.
we'll do another
but
whiskey
we'll
and
do
cigar
a whiskey
episode.
and cigar episode where we actually talk about our cigar
Happy
story.
things. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because whiskey and cigar was a depressing,
Fucking bummer.
but it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Okay, check that out if you haven't. 2 months ago.
Anyways, yeah. So I had to call my manager over to ring this person up. He comes over and he does. And the moment he completes a sale, the person walks away, doesn't take any of the stuff they bought, just walks away.
Wait, what?
And then a fucking cop comes in and he's like, you just sold to a minor. The guy, like, he even like, I remember taking it, he took his ID and stuff. And like, so
What?
this manager freaks out. Yeah. Cause it was a sting.
Oh shit! I forgot they used to do that. I mean, they still do that.
I'm sure. Yeah. So then the
Holy
manager
shit.
is like, well, this is the cashier. And he points at me. He fucking rats me out to the cops and I lose it.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I
because
did not know this.
Really? Yeah.
Holy shit!
I think this is the first time I've gotten that angry where I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Pull up the security cameras, right? I cannot, because I know I physically could not make the sale.
Yeah. So what? That what?
But
Yeah.
my manager tried to put it on me.
And what happened?
Oh, he got fined, maybe fired. I don't
Well, the
remember.
whole store gets fined, and if you get
The store gets fined, and also the person does too. Like, I think like thousands, like a lot.
holy shit,
Yeah, because my girlfriend worked at a restaurant. I remember one of her friends sold to a minor, and he got like hit hard by it.
dude, that sucks.
Yeah,
because you're like just kind of having fun and working, and then you're like,
Well, I didn't get fined. I didn't get in any trouble because I physically could not do it.
dude, that's why you left.
That was the start of it because then they did not handle that well. Because like the
Holy shit! And if they fail a sting, they're gonna be coming back with more stings, guaranteed.
probably, but either way, I couldn't be affected by that because I was 16.
Jesus.
So at that point, I was livid every time I worked for this guy. And then I remember,
did you just like scream at him or like what?
well, I mean, he fucking ratted me out to the cops lying.
Yeah, like what do you do? And the cop is like there, like.
Well,
Dude, what
'cause-
does the cop in that scenario? What does the cop do? Does he just write you a ticket or just say you're busted, buddy?
I don't even remember what the cop did.
You were just like so shocked with like what the fuck?
Well, yeah, I just remember the manager pointing fingers at me. And then I think it was like a month or two later, I requested homecoming off.
Yeah.
And they said no. And I was like, I'm done. I'm in high school. You're not.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I'm asking for it off, so I'm just not going to be here.
Well, yeah. And they were like, well, you could at least put your 2 weeks in. I'm like, no. And it's just like,
Oh, so you literally were just done.
well, I guess when they probably told me I couldn't have that off, it would have been like, I mean, that would have been pretty far in advance still. Because when I requested it off, I know I should have gotten it off.
But then, but you
It
probably
was just
did,
that conversation where I'm like, no.
yeah, but you
I'm
put it
done.
off. But then you probably didn't realize it was not off till they put the schedule up.
So
that's why it was.
I bet that was
that's
it. Yeah,
probably
that makes
why
sense.
it was like
yeah.
so soon.
And I was just like,
and you're like, I requested those off, and they go, no.
and they were like, well, I mean, you can't get everything off. And I was just like, no. So I probably worked until then. And I was just like done.
Dude, that's what's kind of funny is like I've been realizing this like lately, and maybe this isn't a good mentality to have if you're like in the workforce, but like literally, which is everyone, but literally like when I put time off in, if they ever say no, I'll just say, well, I
need it. Yeah.
Well, I'm not coming in then because
Yeah.
I already have plans, and I know that kind of is shitty as an employee, but
Sure.
also like.
If you ask for it far enough in advance, that's fair.
Yeah, but it's like work isn't my life.
I mean, like, yeah, because
You should give me the day off, and if you're gonna say no and be shitty about it, then yeah, I'd probably do it. You go. All right, then just you lost a worker. So
well, also at that point I was 16.
Yeah, you were
so it's
16.
like, or maybe 17 at that point because I worked there for a year. But I was just like, no, like and it was literally like homecoming or one of like those or like a dance. I was like,
you're like, yeah,
I'm not
women
gonna lose my high school experience over this minimum wage
over
job.
Walgreens,
Right, yeah.
Which yeah, is that you worked at the movie theater next?
No, next. Oh, shit, I feel like there was a job in between.
Tropical
this.
Snow.
No, that was after high school.
Oh wow, okay.
My next job maybe was I worked at Journeys.
I forgot you worked at Journeys.
I only worked at Journeys for a couple months.
I forgot about that. Journeys was a dope shoe store.
It was fun. It was at like kind of a dying mall, one of our local malls.
Valley West.
Yeah, there's another mall that's way
still
better.
alive.
I think it just died.
Is it legit dead?
I think they just announced it's like dying.
Oh wow, it's been dying for years.
Yeah,
But I love that mall.
it's fun. They took everything I liked out of it
Yeah, that's true.
because my tattoo parlor used to be in there, and then my favorite store.
Yeah, that's where I got my first tattoo was in that mall. Yeah.
That's where I've gotten every tattoo I've ever had.
Where's their location now?
It's around here. I don't know where exactly.
Oh, weird. You haven't been to the new location?
Nope. I've only ever gotten tattoos there.
Wow.
Yep. So after that
Okay.
moved, I never went back.
So
But-
you were selling shoes. You were a shoe salesman.
which was fun because also it was like an emo store and I was a super
And
emo
they
kid.
played like like music videos
Yeah,
and like the
like
shoes
emo
were.
music.
Yeah, it was badass. I love going into Journeys.
And like they let me dress however I wanted as long as I was wearing their shoes.
And you
which
just
I
had
got
to wear
at-
the name tag too.
yeah, and
Or
no, just a lanyard.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lanyard. I remember.
And like we were like half trained to like kind of flirt with people, and it was fun.
And
like,
you were like, I like flirting.
well, yeah, because it was mostly like teen girls when I was there. Like it was just like,
And you were like, guess what? I'm a teen boy.
yeah, just preface. I was 17.
I'm a teen boy.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I'm 30 and they're teen girls.
And I was told to flirt with them. No, and like I remember if you sold an UGG, you would get like commission on it because they're like $200 boots
Holy
and shit
they
like
had
that.
Uggs at Journeys.
That's one of the main places you could get them back then.
Uggs, that was a weird
And I
trend.
worked there when Uggs were huge. Yeah. And
So did you ever sell Uggs?
yeah, that was your goal. It was weird to like upsell people because you're like trying to convince them to buy shit they don't need. And that's just not who I am.
Yeah, I can't picture you being like, I mean, those Converse look pretty good on you, but what about these wool Uggs?
Yeah. Because I would just be like, I would just want to get people what they wanted.
Yeah, and also, yeah, it's just a bunch of young emo people. Why would
Yeah. Just like,
sell them Vans?
yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, and they were like 20 bucks. I remember once though, I went in the back room and because you had to climb the shelves to get, because there was so many fucking shoes.
Really? That's kind of cool.
And like 2 levels of the shelves collapsed under me. And so like
What? It fell on you?
well, they were like pinned to the wall. So the shelves fell off and fell on me along with probably 60 to 70 pairs of shoes.
Just
I bet.
boom.
Just no, like I was on the ground and just flooded with them. And one of my managers come back and like, what happened? I'm like, the shelves broke. And like, they weren't mad at me because we were taught to like climb up the shelves and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. And I was like, what? Probably like 110 pounds back
Yeah,
then.
you were tiny.
I was teeny tiny. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
But I remember that job.
That's a shoe avalanche.
Yeah, I worked there like 2 or 3 months, I bet. And I remember I didn't get fired. They just stopped talking to me. And
They
it turned,
ghosted you?
yeah, it turns out they got a new owner or like manager of that certain store. Everyone got let go.
Without telling them.
I mean, I'm sure they told like the big people, but for me, like they just took me off everything.
So you like went in to check your schedule and then you just weren't on?
I just stopped getting emails from him. And I remember like calling him. He's like, hey, sorry, I don't work there anymore. I'm like, who's the manager? And he's like, I'm some new person. And
What
they just,
the fuck?
yeah, like,
Is that allowed?
I don't know. Because I remember I had,
But I guess you were part-time, so
yeah,
there's
and,
no...
and I think I was considered more seasonal because it was like in November,
Christmas.
October.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's why I was selling so many Uggs. And I remember when I went to college, so that would have been several months later, my parents were like, hey, there's this random paycheck for you. And it was my last paycheck from them. So it was like an actual like $300.
And you were like, hell yeah.
Well, yeah,
I'm
because I
gonna
was
use
going,
this
I
in
was
college.
like, fuck yeah, yeah.
I'm going to use this to buy booze, mom and dad. Illegally.
Yeah.
And not get caught by the cops. Like a sting.
And then after that, I worked at Fairway for a day.
You worked at Fairway?
for a day.
Wait, was it like training and then you're like, fuck this?
They told me to cut my hair. And I was like, this is a high school job.
So,
No.
what were you, what department? Just cashier?
I don't know, because I was literally, they told me that in training. Like, yeah.
So they hired you and then did training and then said you have to cut your hair?
Yep. And I was just like, no. And then they were also like, yeah, so like certain days, like you might be scheduled to come in before school to help like load stock. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not coming into work at 6 to go to school at 8. Like,
Yeah, dude, there were people that did that.
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
fuck going to work before school.
No.
Fuck that. I'm not my parents.
well, I'm just like, it's just like, absolute school is my work. This is how I get money.
Yeah, and this is just fun money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you had a car, I guess.
but also I didn't have to drive technically because like I lived right next to school.
Yeah, and literally the mall and all that stuff was in walking distance.
So yeah, so if I had some money, I'd be fine. Yeah, I worked there for technically a day, and then I remember I had a buddy who worked there, and they were like, "Hey, you're on the schedule. Do you work here?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm just not gonna show up."
So like literally, you just didn't come back after what?
I didn't
after
finish.
one day,
I think I told them just no,
and then
They're
just
like,
left training.
I didn't. I don't remember because I wasn't super confrontational.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But I didn't finish training. I think I'd like trained for a few hours and that's it. But all I remember is like, yeah, you have to change how you look. I'm like, no.
No. Can you imagine what they would say if you walked in right now and got a job? They would probably say no.
I mean, I don't have long hair.
But you're covered in tattoos.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
feral.
Yeah.
Ferals.
Fairway.
Fairway.
And then, yeah, then I worked for a movie theater for like a year.
I remember you working at the theater. The theater was a cool job.
That was the best job. They paid shit, but it was fun.
Dude, you got popcorn, you got movie posters.
And free movies.
Oh, and a ton of free movies. And you could bring people to free movies, right?
Yes. Every day you got like 2 movie passes. So like you and a friend, but also no one gave a shit if you just kept going into empty theaters. I bet it's different now because now you have to like reserve theater seats and it's weird.
It is weird. But also like the theaters are more empty. So like
True.
there's
Yeah.
not a lot of people going to movies unless probably a release day or something. But every time I go to the theater, I've been a couple times in the past month, 8 people.
I know, it's a bummer because like movie theaters used to be so much fun.
And it is also weird going through concessions now. Like, because I went to Jordan Creek where I used to work, and it just feels different. It feels like just, I don't know.
It's just slightly removed after quarantine.
So you did the movie theater for a year.
I think so.
God, that was a cool job.
I think I worked there my entire senior year.
But the crazy part with the movie theater is you would work till like what, 12:30
Yep. And it was like,
on like school nights too.
yeah. And it was fine. And so like if I did that on like a Friday, my parents didn't know, or my parents were asleep when I got off, so I could just like hang out with my friends there.
Oh, so you would like go to parties or something, or
Kind of, yeah. Like we'd get togethers because also like
yeah, you hung out with a lot of movie theater people.
a weird thing was they kind of only hired like attractive people that age.
Weird.
Like basically,
Jordan Creek Mall was hot.
yeah, no, and like it's still like
where
the hottest spot, but like
Is it?
ist spot.
Is that? I guess that's the high
it's
school
the only
spot.
it's the only place to go around here for like high school kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you can just wander the mall and get free samples and be jackasses.
that's what I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So I remember they only like hired like attractive like high schoolers, so that was fun because then we all just like hung
So why
out
do they
and had
hire
fun.
you? I'm just kidding. You gave me a look. Dude, that just sounds like a fun job because I loved movies and I was like, man, it would have been so cool. But I feel like there was probably a lot of bullshit you had to deal with, like cleaning and.
Yeah.
But did you always just half-ass shit?
Well, I remember once when I was like cleaning a theater alone because it was like a weekday and like not a lot of people were there. This was the only time I really got written up there.
Oh, what'd you do?
I'm gonna say I'm glad I did this because I don't know how I would have handled it. So I just like half-assed like cleaned up and something, and then like I did something else, and then like probably an hour or two later, my manager called me and they're like, "Did you clean this theater?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You missed something." They pulled out a gun.
What? Like a real gun?
A gun, yes.
Dude, what?
Somebody left their gun in the theater and called in to ask about it. So then like a manager went in and like found it. They're like, yeah,
What
it
the
was behind the
fuck?
seat. I'm like, thank God I didn't find that.
But if you're cleaning the theater and you found a gun, what would you have done?
I would just been so confused because also like I wouldn't even know.
What do you do? Throw it away? Like,
I mean,
tell somebody?
yeah, but like also my worry would be like I would just be like if I like was like sweeping under a chair and I was like, there's something solid down there and just reached over and like grabbed at it.
And then your fingerprints are on it.
Well, or just fucking pull the trigger.
Yeah, because it's that easy to pull a trigger.
I mean, the safety was probably on, but also this person was stupid enough to not know a gun fell out of their pocket.
Yeah, don't you have it in a holster?
Some also guns are illegal in movie theaters, I think.
Yeah, because of Dark Knight Rises.
I think they're like one of the few like for sure gun free zones because
Yeah.
you're like sitting in a dark room with a bunch of strangers. You
but
can't see
also,
you.
like, if you have your permit to carry, conceal to carry, are you allowed to?
I never know.
I don't know. Gun laws are weird, and we're not a gun podcast, but that's fucking terrifying.
We're a moist podcast.
Yeah, that's fucking dude.
But like if
And like you got written up for not finding a gun.
just for half-assed cleaning a theater.
It was behind a seat,
Yeah. No, it was black. Like yeah, because also
dude.
I
would if I found a gun, I'd be like, I ain't touching that.
yeah, I probably would have just called a man. Like if I brought it out, I would have left it and called because
Someone needs to come get this quick.
I probably would have.
That would have freaked me the fuck out,
Because
dude.
yeah, because I was also like 17. I was like a fucking gun, which like I guess
It was just a handgun.
yeah, I think
guessing?
I'm sure it was just like a Glock or
Oh my
something.
god, a
mean-
Glock? That's what you call it? Is that what they're called?
I think that's the official name.
I don't know. That just makes me think of like Grand Theft Auto.
think so.
I literally don't know anything about gangster life.
But also imagine you're talking to a manager and they're like, you missed something and puts a gun on the table.
Is that what he did?
Or I don't remember if they said it on the table, but they showed me a gun. I was like, what?
Hey, come in. We're writing you up. You missed something, and then it just goes. Remember this, motherfucker?
It's like if you're a cop, I'm like, leave your gun. I'm like, I never found it. I
Dude,
guess
that's fucking freaky.
because if I did find it, my guess would be I'd leave it on the floor and just called somebody.
Yeah.
Or I mean, maybe I would have just like swept it into my little like trash thing and like carry it into the
Carried
office.
it and then just been like, and dumped it.
Because if I knew it was a gun, there's no way I would have grabbed it and walked
I
out.
would not have touched it.
No,
I would have
'cause-
been so scared.
Because like I'm not terrified of guns. It's just the idea of finding one when you're a child.
Yeah, and then in a theater.
You're just at your job.
And
Yeah.
you're just cleaning a theater and it's how do you lose a gun?
Yeah, it's
Because it's heavy.
and it's the most. It should be if you're holding a gun.
Yeah,
it
if
should
you're
be,
allowed to conceal carry, you should 100% know where it's at all times.
Yeah, no, that
If you
person
leave it-
should have lost their permit for
Oh
sure.
my god! And he just called. Hey, did I lose my gun in the
And they're
theater?
like, oh, let me check. Yep.
Yep, here it is. Come and
It's
get
a
it.
fucking gun.
And then it turns out it's a sting. Gotcha. You're under 18.
God damn it.
Fuck.
They
keep
blame it
following-
on me again for not cleaning well enough.
Yeah, they keep following you, dude. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, those were all my high school jobs.
So what did you do in college?
I didn't work my freshman year.
Oh, at all?
Nope.
That sounds actually like fun.
Yeah, and then between my freshman year and then I switched colleges to a technical degree, so not like sophomore. I worked and managed 3 snow cone shacks around town.
Dude, it's crazy. I totally thought you did that like while in high school.
Nope. No, my buddy did it the summer before, and he became a manager.
That just sounds like such an easy bullshit job.
I worked usually the River Shack, and I just brought like a ukulele or a guitar, and then also I had my laptop with a DVD player, and you just hung out and like I would usually work a double, so it was like day to night.
Yeah.
So I'd be there like 10 hours, just fucking around.
Just making snow cones,
And like
eating
I made
snow cones.
And like back then I made like $10 an hour, so that was great. So like sometimes I'd work like 50-hour weeks, and like wasn't bad.
yeah, and that's just money in your pocket,
For
basically.
fucking around, eating free snow cones all day.
Yeah, did you ever mess around with recipes?
Yep.
Or come up with like?
Well, I mean,
come
you
up
had
with-
all this syrup.
Yeah, you had
so
all the, I
tried.
would definitely. Was there anything that you was like your go-to mixture? Do you remember?
Not a mixture, but I really liked the black cherry, and it was probably
Weird.
one of the most like least common flavors.
So there was a full bottle of it. Usually.
yeah, and like that was just
Black
always my favorite.
ugh.
Well, because also you learn.
Do you
that
like that flavor just in general?
sometimes like that's my favorite Kool-Aid.
Ugh.
What they don't have, or I think normal cherry Kool-Aid's not very good, but black,
Black
cherry, is.
cherry.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Twizzlers, but not in that way.
is Twizzlers black cherry?
No, it's close enough.
Isn't it? Aren't Twizzlers just Twizzler flavor?
No, they're cherry.
Are they?
And then the black Twizzlers
they
are
were just-
black cherry.
No, they're black licorice.
Oh, I'm
think-
thinking black licorice. What's black cherry?
It's black cherry. I don't like black licorice.
So
Black-
I literally in my head was thinking black licorice.
no, it's just black cherry.
licorice is way different.
Yeah.
Maybe black cherry would be good.
It is.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, and like that was
Apparently not if there was a full bottle of it. But it's a lot. I would say, haven't tried it. Probably better than black licorice.
100%. Yeah.
Black
No,
licorice is
yeah,
disgusting.
no, licorice in general is horrible. Yeah, so but that job was awesome because I would just watch movies, fucking bring a guitar or
How
ukulele.
many times did you watch Fast and the Furious?
0.
Just kidding. Everything's gonna be a callback now to that.
Yeah, and like it was just like, and also you could,
Dude, that sounds nice because the weather was usually nice. And
yeah, because if it was rainy, you'd
was
not
it
have
ever
a job.
like? Was it ever like annoying when it was like slammed and you were just making snow cone after snow cone because you were by yourself
Yeah, I mean, but like a snow cone is just you shave ice
and then you just pour syrup on it and
and then you hand it to them.
that's true. I guess
That's it.
And there's
Like,
just a line. Yeah.
I mean, if I had a line of like 15 people, it'd probably take like 18 minutes.
I guess that's not bad.
I guess like the
You
only
just hit
issue would be
pause.
like ordering up. Yeah.
Yeah, because if people order like the custom ones where it's multiple syrups,
I mean,
you had it
it's-
all memorized.
It's just, I mean, I think it was like super simple. Like you just read it.
Oh yeah, it's true. The recipes were probably all printed.
Yeah.
I do the blue raspberry. I just like blue raspberry as a flavor, but fucking dude, snow cones are delicious.
I know.
and like it's
I
so.
have a snow cone machine now because I loved that job.
Can we do a moist Monday where we eat snow cones? Can we figure out alcoholic snow cones?
That's the thing for sure. Because I remember when I worked there, everyone's like, "Can you add alcohol to this?" I'm like, "You can add your own," and then they'd walk away, and it was the same thing every time. Fucking hate that.
It's just a dumb.
When the same person asks the same question every fucking
well,
or
everyone,
same type of person.
yeah, everyone tries to think about. It's like when you get a haircut and they go, "Did you get a wall cut?"
Get a what? Oh, God.
It's like that stupid
Yeah.
joke that everyone says about everything.
Yeah, like a setup sentence that just like applies to that situation every time.
And it's just like
every
after
time
a
they
while,
say it, they're like, I bet I'm the first person to say it to this guy.
They think
I'm
they're
like, go
clever.
Fuck
And it's like,
yourself.
I've heard it 8 times a day, buddy.
And I said the same half-ass response every time.
But I would like to do alcoholic snow cones because it's summertime now, which would be crazy because if we eat it when it's summertime and then
Come out in like
it'll
November.
come out when it's fall. Dude, but snow cones are, what's crazy is it's so simple and so stupid. It's just fucking syruped ice.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm still good at like pouring the syrup. Like
You have to do it a certain way or?
it's just when you first like make your own, you think like, oh, they never put enough syrup in it, and you drown it, and it's horrible. It's like you don't want too much.
Well, because at the bottom is where the syrup goes and then it becomes a
it's-
juice.
yeah.
And then it's too
You just want to
strong.
lightly bathe the top layer of ice and know that it'll seep its way down while they're eating it.
Yeah, and then the
then when
last
it
bite
melts,
is
it's-
yeah, and then it's fucking good. It's a drink.
Well, I mean, no, the last bite's not the best. The first few bites are the best, I think.
I think they're too icy. I really like the flavor. To teach their own. That's what I always say.
Did you say to teach their own?
Yeah, that's what I say.
To teach their own?
You never knew that? To teach their
that
own.
you say it wrong every time?
Yeah, but I've been doing it for years.
Why?
And I think it's so funny.
Why?
Because I say it really quick
To teach their own.
to teach their own. Because it sounds like you're saying it right, but it's not.
And it's still like
To teach
Kinda
their own. But it's also like,
applies?
instead of to each their own, it's like to teach their own. So it's like,
Yeah.
that maybe you just learned it wrong. To teach their own. And I just think it, well, I also say bone apple teeth.
I've heard that before.
I just like saying,
That's a thing. I've never heard to teach their own before.
well, that's an original thought, maybe. I've literally been saying that for so long.
I don't think I've ever noticed.
Well, we don't ever have conversations where I just go, to teach their own.
I
Usually.
mean, over the past 3 years, I'm sure we have.
I think I probably said it just, and we just move on. But now in like a podcast.
I'm wearing headphones.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a podcast setting, it's like you're really analyzing my words.
You got a pop filter between you and me. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no distraction. It's literally raw fucking shaved ice and syrup and to teach their own. Dude, I think, no joke, I've been saying that since high school. I think I've been saying it for 10 years.
I've never noticed that.
It's I just think it's so funny.
I like it.
I'm glad someone does, and you'd be the one
I hope our Moist Monday fans do too. All right.
to teach their own.
I don't remember your initial question, but I think we covered it.
I think we did too. My initial question was McDonald's. McDonald's drive. Because McDonald's drive, it wasn't a question. It was just a story about McDoubles. But I like the topic around about jobs, and it's like, since we're going down your rabbit hole of jobs, I want to keep going to. We might as well keep going through your thing. So we're at Tropical Snow.
Oh, you want to keep going with my job?
We might as well. I like it would. I'm very curious because I'm learning about to teach their own about a lot of these things. So
Okay. We can go through my
Tropical
job.
Snow. You're a
right.
sophomore in college
So, yeah, because that was.
because you lived at home at this point.
Yeah, that was the summer. And then I think right after that is when I moved in with you. I think I took that money and put it towards our apartment.
Yeah, because I think you made a decent amount of money because you were working a fuck ton of hours.
Well, because I became a manager.
doing nothing.
Like halfway through, I became a manager. So I'd open the shacks, work 2 shifts, and then close the shacks. I remember also I got paid like
Tips?
tips and drive time.
Oh,
So I had to
fuck.
drive to the owner's house and grab all the syrups and shit.
Can you imagine just being an owner of Tropical Snow and you don't do shit and you just?
I don't think you did. Yeah.
I wonder how much money you make.
And also,
that
like-
might be a nice side gig because you don't do shit.
And
People
it's just during the summer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like also you learn pretty quick that like you're allowed to take tips and it's impossible to trace how much ice or syrup you've used.
yeah, because ice melts and
Well, yeah. So just like fucking
and you can just make snow
every
cones.
once in a while you just hand them out and
For
just
free.
take the money as tip.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
a little devil.
I mean,
you're
but-
sneaky.
I mean, like I would just do that like here and there if I wasn't making good tips. Because also if you had some money in the tip jar, people would then add more to it.
Yeah, so randomly, if there's like one person in line, you go, oh, that'd be $3.75, and then you just throw it in the tip jar or something.
Yeah, and they hand you a 4, and they say keep the change, and you just put all of it in there. Yep.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's genius.
And then if anyone ever says like, because that's back when like pay it forward was big, which was so fucking stupid.
you
Because,
don't like pay it forward?
no, if you're the person handling the money,
Why?
because if they say pay it forward, that means like way later, you don't know who the fuck's coming up there, and you're like, oh, someone else covered their money or your thing, and they're like, what do you mean? Or the next person comes and
And
they order.
orders more than.
Yes, and you're like, oh, someone said $4, so it's like, or gave me.
Dude,
$4.
I think this is gonna sound shitty, but I think if you're doing a pay it forward and there's not someone directly behind them,
Give a fucking good tip.
Yeah, don't even pay it forward and just throw it in the tip jar.
Yeah,
Or just-
because also the person who's going there is expecting to pay it. That's fine. The person working there could always use more money.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I get like in a drive-through if there's a car directly behind
I've
you.
only done that once, and it was nice.
I saw literally a TikTok today about that.
The guy who did the scam of it, though.
Yeah, where he's like, "Hey, pay it forward," and then it was the guy behind him
So
ordering exactly what he wanted.
So what he did was
I guess I didn't understand the scam.
I understood it.
Okay.
Wait, okay. So
we saw this. Did we? I feel
Yeah.
like our TikTok feeds are the exact same.
you send me so much shit and I watch it all, so we all get the same shit. Yeah. So it was a guy goes through a drive-through and orders one thing off the dollar menu,
Yeah.
and there's a car behind him, and then his buddy's behind that car. So this person orders a one.
Oh, so there's a car in between them.
Yes. So
I didn't realize there was a middle car.
yeah. So there's him, and then he orders a $1 thing, so he pays that, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get it for the person behind me." They probably have like a $15 thing or whatever. And then when that person gets up, they're like, "Oh, your order's been paid for." And they're like, "Oh, I'll just do it for the person behind me." And that guy ordered like
A fuck ton of food.
$40 worth of things.
And then didn't pay it forward and got free food.
Yeah, I bet he didn't pay for the person behind him.
And then okay, I didn't realize there was a middle car.
Yeah, so the idea is that the middle car ordered a normal amount of food, and then they're offering to pay for the big purchase without.
because they don't know how much it is. And you're using a credit card, so I
They're
guess
like,
I don't know
I'll
how
pay
that.
for the person behind me, and they're not gonna be like, just so you know, it's like $60.
No, they're not going to say that. They just go, "Oh, okay."
No, that's so nice.
It's
And then his
yeah,
buddy
can I
behind
get
him is
5
like,
hamburgers, 4
they
chick-
ordered a shit ton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like Jesus.
no, yeah, I
Christ.
saw that this morning.
I think I saw that this morning too.
Yeah,
What
so-
is up with our feeds?
I don't know. Like me and you have the same feed, and me and my girlfriend have pretty much the same feed because she keeps like showing me stuff. I'm like, seen it.
Yeah, half the time you send me stuff, I've already seen it, buddy.
Yep.
But then also I'm like, man, I hope he hasn't seen this, and sometimes I haven't, and vice versa.
Yeah, no, sometimes you catch me.
So speaking of catching,
Oh,
shaved ice. Moving on to
okay, yeah. So
what happens
when
so
we-
you move in
with
Pizza
you.
Hut. Is it Pizza Hut next?
Yep, Pizza Hut was my next job, which I did that for a little over a year too. Most jobs I've held for about like 15 months.
That's crazy, dude. Because I've only had 4 jobs my entire life.
I've had probably like 8.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You only had 4?
I've only had 4 jobs my entire life.
So we'll go through that next.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so this is all our work things. But
Might as well.
Also saying, in high school, I worked at a radio station for 3 years.
Yeah, but that was at the high school.
I also came in after hours, though, and before hours.
and that was a dope station.
yeah, no, and like,
But you never made money. Did
no,
you?
we made the school money, though.
Oh, really? Because
Hmm?
there was ad reads and stuff.
And we sold a show once.
You sold a what?
A show.
Oh, really?
We had a show presented by somebody else.
That's badass.
Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, so I also did that, which I'm.
So now you're kind of back into radio right now, doing podcasts.
That's why I wanted to do this, honestly, because I like.
You like
doing
talking
this kind of shit, yeah.
But it's just not music interludes.
Yeah, but like people on their phones, probably music's queued up after this.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's just Spotify keeps playing shit. And,
Right, yeah.
And also,
Or there's a Fast and the Furious episode next.
yeah, or if Jacob has to take a piss, there's some 20s jazz music that comes on, which is always, I love when it just comes
you
in.
love just putting 20s jazz music.
Dude,
in,
I
yeah.
have a full folder of 20s jazz. I don't know why.
that you're just slowly working through.
Dude, I love it though.
Because it's 100 years. Holy shit.
It's 100 years old.
20s jazz music is 100 years old.
Yes, that's why it's copyright free, baby.
Right, yeah, because anything over like 70 something. Because aren't they like
The
about to
statute of
lose?
limitations.
Because they're about to. Is that? I don't think that's what it is. That's like if you commit a crime.
Oh, well, so is copywriting's a crime.
I guess. But all right, yeah. So then I worked at Pizza Hut, which was fine. Like I didn't make that good of money. I made
But
barely
I think you
enough.
kind of liked it though.
I mean, yeah, because it was just like I was a lot of driving and shit, but also I wrecked one of my cars doing it.
I remember that
Because
during
I
a
had to,
snowstorm
I had to deliver during one of the worst blizzards.
and your car slid on ice.
But like it wasn't even like a bad slide.
Yeah, because you were going kind of slow.
Well,
right?
I was on like just a street and like it was like a blizzard, so I knew to go slow, and I just like gently like slid into a curb, but I just hit it at such a weird angle that I just snapped my front axle.
Like that's insane. Like totally fucked your car.
Well, yeah, because I remember I finished that shift, and when I was driving,
Wait, you finished the shift?
because I didn't know, yeah, and because I thought I was just sliding on ice, but like my car kept like just going in weird directions. I was like, "Fuck the ice," but no, it was my axle
Holy
was broken.
fuck, dude.
Because I remember once the
And
apartment.
that probably made it worse.
I mean, I think a snapped axle is
Yeah,
a
it's
fucking
fucked
snapped
either way.
axle. Yeah. Yeah, because then I got my dad's car, which is still my car. It's amazing that thing's still here. But yeah, then I did that for like a year, and I did that while I was in college.
So you didn't make that good of tips
Not great. Enough to pay for college and
rent.
yeah, but I didn't have a lot of spending money.
I do remember.
I was really short on everything always. Yeah.
That's crazy because, but it kind of does make sense though because people are shitty. I think you told me a lot of times people would like be really.
But you don't have to give anyone a tip ever.
Yeah, but that's so fucked up.
But like you don't have to. They should force you to, which I guess.
Yes, the apps do now.
I don't know.
They kind of require you. I mean, you can exit out of the app, but there's no way if it
I
says.
guess I don't know if you can give them no tip.
No, but it says give them a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tip.
And you can click custom. I don't know if you can do zeros on it though.
But if you always do that before they pick up your order,
True. So people could be like, no, fuck him.
and you can always modify your tip afterwards
You can add more. I
or
think.
add more. But like, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know if you can like give
because
them
I've
no
seen
tip.
a lot of videos of when people like don't give a tip, they just don't pick up their order.
That's awesome.
It's like a fuck you. But like
Yeah.
when you're ordering pizza, it's
And you don't
and
know
then
until
just-
you get there and they sign the receipt.
and then it's just or if they're doing cash,
Yeah, and they could just ask for a change, and you're just like, fuck.
and you just go, God damn it.
Yeah.
Why can't you just be like keep the change? Why like literally like
I'm
just make it.
bringing food to your door, which is now not that crazy. But back then it was like,
back then,
pizza
this is
was
like-
pizza was the only place I
Yeah,
delivered.
2015, 2016.
Yeah. No, like I'm the only person bringing.
Yeah, it's
A meal
it's
to
this,
your door.
Jimmy John's,
That's it. I
Chinese food.
some, but not as much here. Like East Coast, it's a big thing. Like everything gets delivered
Yeah,
because
but
it's,
like here,
'cause
it
no one
was
had
like
cars.
pizza, Chinese food, Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
I think that was basically it.
That's all I can think
and
of.
like but like ordering pizza was a big deal because it was like
that's like
we're
the
gonna
thing
order
you
it.
order to
we're
be
gonna-
delivered.
And now
Yeah.
it's like
anything.
I kind of want Perkins, but you want Buffalo Wild Wings, so like
ordering like
let's just get it both.
IHOP is weird. Like
Getting
having pancakes delivered.
It's not as good.
No,
obviously.
no, because pancakes don't travel well. But like there was something just my girlfriend was
Fries
craving.
don't travel well.
No, it's such a bummer. But like there was something like my girlfriend wanted. It's like IHOP. I'm like, you want pancakes and eggs delivered to your house?
So they're gonna make it. It's gonna sit for a while. Then you're gonna sit in a car, and then we're gonna get it.
Yeah, like that seems
We're
so.
gonna pay $10 more for
I
it.
know that's the bummer.
And it's just like, dude, you could make pancake and eggs.
Oh, we want pancake mix.
You could probably order pancake mix.
True. And for way cheaper.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, something like pancakes that would be worth or because it's nothing to make it. All right, anyways, yeah. So I did that, and because that was enough to put me through college and then pay for rent.
So
It got me through it.
you weren't making a lot of money, but you were paying for things that were important.
Yes, it got me through
Like
it.
that's
It was
yeah,
like
it's not bad.
no, I couldn't. I should have.
But you probably worked. The hours were kind of shitty.
I
right?
should have looked for like a better retail job or something like that. Something more.
Why
like
did you do
solid.
Pizza Hut? Because it was
was right there.
It was close to us.
Remember how close it was?
Yeah, it was like you could walk there,
Except for I couldn't because I was a delivery driver. So
so it didn't matter.
no, if I would have gone through anything else on that strip mall,
Yeah, you could just
where
walk
I
to
didn't
work.
have to drive. Yeah,
And then your car would have been fine.
Yep.
And we'd still be driving it.
maybe that was a '97.
I'm still driving my first car.
Yeah, what year is that?
2003.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, I know that is crazy old. Actually, yeah,
I just put new tires on it. $750.
yeah. Jesus,
Yeah. Is that a lot?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. But it was crazy because this was like the first time I was ever able to do a big boy purchase by myself.
And like actually, like a little bit like more than like the minimum.
Yeah, like literally they were like, what tires do you want? And I was like, yeah, let's do these. They'll last a little bit longer. And I was just able to be like, not check my bank account and just swipe my card and just move on.
I remember the moment.
It was like, it's crazy that I'm just now getting to that point,
Yeah.
but it's like,
nice.
but then afterward I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's 700.
I mean, like when I get my oil changed, I remember like the moment I was like, I'll do the advance or whatever. Like
Yeah,
the one
upgrade
that,
it.
yeah, the up.
You know you're getting a little bit older and more financially stable when you just go,
Okay, but
I'll take windshield
have
wiper.
you ever not done the cheapest gas possible?
I always do cheapest gas.
Yeah, I've
Who
never
fucking-
done.
I fill up gas all the time. Why would I ever pay more for it? I'm not
I-
going to get more miles out of it.
I want to know who does. Do you? Is better gas last longer?
I'm sure it probably helps your engine, and I'm sure it probably.
Maybe? I don't
But
fucking
like,
know.
why is there different tiers of gas?
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea. Like super unleaded or whatever the fuck it is. Like who does that?
Isn't Super Unleaded the cheapest?
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I just look at the prices.
It's all horrible now.
It's terrible right now, and I can't even imagine what's going to be in 2 months.
Yeah, maybe
I've
it'll
heard it's
be-
like $7 some places.
yeah, I've heard that too.
Just fucking. That's really tempts him in this episode. Watch it be like 14 in 2 months, or watch it be like $2.
Maybe. Yeah,
no
maybe,
one knowing.
maybe we fixed it. Or we just all have electric
We
cars.
fixed the gas. The gas.
Not us. All right, yeah, so I did that. And then I did that to put me through welding school. So out of welding school, I got a welding job, which if you remember from the It's Fun to Get Concussions or whatever the story was.
Funny to break your nose.
Yeah, it's funny to break your nose. That was that job.
The great thing about breaking your nose.
Yes, that's
is,
what it was. Yes. Episode like 5.
The longer we've been doing this, the more I'm like, I like our title idea, I like our episode titles, but also I'm like, they're so hard to remember
Because it's just a clip
it's just
of something
so
one of us said.
specific.
Yeah.
But I love them. But also, it's like, what is it about? What's it about?
Yeah.
No one knows. But
All right,
that
so
was
I
a
did-
good episode.
I did that, and then I did my other welding job, which I worked at for like 4 years. So that's by far my absolute longest job. Because my first welding job I did for like 8 months until I got laid off.
Well, but you did welding 2 jobs in a row. Obviously, you went to
Yeah,
school
I
for
welded
it,
for like 6 years total.
though. Yeah, which is insane.
And then because that last welding job just treated me so bad that I was like, I don't want to do this
Because
anymore.
you were going to work at 5 a.m.
No, I had to be there by 5
Yeah, you had
a.m.
to. Yeah,
so I was up
we
at
were
4.
at this point.
I was working 11 and a half hour shifts because of lunch. So I was working there from 5 to 4:30.
Yeah, when we became friends again, we had similar shifts because I worked at
Right.
5 too, but I got off at 2.
Yeah, and I worked till 3:30 until they extended my shift, and also sometimes maybe work Saturdays for 6 hours.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Well, because also if you're working
Dude, if you're working that long, you just get home and you literally don't do anything.
Nothing. No.
You feel like, and then you just gotta wake up and do it all over again.
Well, because
and
also
again, and
you have to
again.
go to bed by 8, and I was 23.
Dude, I was never, even if I went to bed early, first off, I couldn't fall asleep, but I
Right.
was never awake when I woke up at 4 o'clock,
Right.
4:30.
Yeah. No, it was dangerous to drive to work that early.
It was dark. I know people do it and it's fine, but
No, and, like, more power to
we were
you.
like early 20s, and but I do remember on some days, because I was one of the first people to get to my shop because I was like the only department that opened that early. Most
Okay.
people would get in at 7.
Yeah.
Because I ran like the CNC
Holy shit.
so it was kind of nice because I was like the second person there.
Yeah.
So I would go and start the coffee machine. I would start my machine up. And so by the time 7 o'clock runs around, I've had 3 cups of
Jesus
coffee.
Christ. I didn't do coffee back
See,
then either.
I love coffee. And I would literally, that would be my excuse to walk to the break room, get another cup of coffee. So by the time people start showing up and they're sleepy, I have music
You
cranked.
had nice managers though, didn't you?
I had pretty good managers.
I had
Yeah.
horrible
I
managers.
liked my old job. My
Yeah.
old job was really good until I got laid off.
Yeah, we'll go through that.
Yeah, we'll go through my jobs
Yeah,
next.
no, because my managers were horrible to me. And like they got there the same time I did. So imagine dealing with a dickhead at 6 a.m.
Speaking of a dickhead, we got a motorcyclist.
Yeah, there's some like crotch rocket people around here. But it's also like there's like a family on my street where like even the kids have like half motorcycles and it's fun. No, like they seem,
It's like a fun. Okay.
they seem like they're just having fun.
They're just having fun. Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
And like they're not
Usually crotch rocket people kind of annoy me.
yeah, they're not like bad about it. It seems like, oh, it's a fun thing that
We're doing as a family.
like, yeah, they're not like dicks about it,
Okay,
which is
yeah,
because
okay.
also they're like kids.
Oh,
So I
okay.
doubt they're like real motorcycles. They're probably like little electric e-bikes or whatever.
Yeah,
but like they still make
that's
noise.
kind of cool because if you're a kid, that's like, oh, this is badass.
And, like, I live right next to a big park. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, so they bumped me up to horrible shifts or horrible hours. Also, like that job one time. So I was a welder for like 5 years at this point, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna move you to a different department as a what's it called? Not four-wheel.
Forklift operator.
I just all of a sudden was a forklift operator at a new building under a new manager.
Yeah, so you weren't even welding at all.
No, so after like 2 months of that, the manager of that building came over and he's like, "Hey, it seems like you're not really like good at this." I'm like, "No,
No, I'm a welder.
yeah, like this isn't
I'm
what
not a forklift guy.
yeah, like I didn't go to school for this. Like this is not what I trained
I
for."
mean, I don't think anyone goes to school for
No,
forklift
but like,
training.
but like I wasn't even trained in it. Like they just like, I think
that's so fucking weird.
they like made me do like a morning course where it doesn't even include driving a forklift.
yeah, you just gotta get forklift certified.
We just have to
basically.
watch some safety vehicles
Yeah.
about how not to kill people.
And you gotta be like, oh, this is weight counterbalance. And
And like, yeah, and then they just put me on a fucking
I remember
forklift.
training to do the test at my old job, but I never
Yeah.
took it. So
Yeah, so I regret taking it because then they just made me be one for months, and like
didn't he?
nobody liked me when I did it because I wasn't good at it. So
And, oh yeah, because you had to deliver like supplies and stuff to people, and
I had to
sometimes it
move
was
shit-
wrong. And
Well, I just didn't fucking know, and like I was,
did
I
for
was
too
bumping
much.
into shit.
I
and, like,
remember you complaining so much when you were doing it. I'm like, you're like, I'm a fucking welder. What am I doing?
Yeah, like I just wasn't trained to be like I wasn't a forklift driver, and then like
I'd be so confused. I'm like, what?
So they moved me to a new building with a new manager with different employees who just met me, and they all
So they
hate
just
me.
all assume that this is what you do, and
That
it's
I'm
like,
the-
no,
I'm
I'm a fucking welder.
Well, no, they assumed I was like this was my job, and I was horrible at it. So they all just saw me as like a
and
piece
that's
of
why
shit.
you're here.
Well, yeah. So like a lot of people at that company didn't like me because that was their first introduction to me.
That sucks.
Right? Yeah, and like I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I didn't sign up for any of this.
No,
It's
they just threw it to me.
I needed the paycheck still, and this is how it adapted. And then eventually I got back into welding at this new building where nobody liked me.
Oh,
And then they
fuck.
pulled me from, so they gave me back my old job, and then they pulled me on it because this other guy who was a little younger than me, which was weird, he wasn't doing good at his job. So they had him train me, and they were mad I wasn't doing good at my job because they had the guy they didn't like train me.
What the fuck?
So I did it like he did it.
It's like they were kind of sabotaging you, or
I don't. That's
like,
why
what
I'm.
the fuck?
That's legitimately why I quit welding because they made me bad welder. Because they took.
They
made me.
They made me bad welder.
I mean, they also took my dictionaries from me.
It's a funny episode title. They made me bad welder.
No, so that's why now I'm a FedEx driver because like I wanted to leave that company, but also they had just stifled my ability that I went to college for like a year and a half. Like I was a good welder at one point.
Yeah, and you felt like, and you're like, I feel like I'm just wasting my degree. I feel like I'm just, and also you're getting up at you're getting to
Right.
work at 5 a.m.
And
There's
getting
always-
home at
yeah.
like 5:30
and
p.m.
and every time you leave work, you're dirty, covered in shit.
yeah.
And it's just like,
and just
you were
Defeated.
and you had done it for years.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and it was just
defeated
going
is the perfect
downhill.
word. Yeah,
Defeated.
And then like I just knew that like if I applied at other places and they saw how I weld because of how this place made me weld, they wouldn't give me the job.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah. So I quit and became a FedEx driver, which honestly I technically make more per hour.
That's what I was thinking. I made more per hour at FedEx because I did it so fast.
Well, yeah,
Because
you
it's
just worked so little hours.
It's daily salary.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to think about.
All right, but for you, let's go on the way back machine and go to your first job.
Yeah, let's time travel to my first job.
What year is it? Set the mood. What was the number one hit on the radio station?
My first job was 16, and it was a grocery store, and I need another beer.
All right, so year is 2011.
2011.
Rolling in the Deep hits the radio with alongside.
Ooh, Adele.
Yeah, what was Party Rock Anthem?
Party Rock Anthem?
Yeah.
Is that by LMFAO?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God. Remember, they were hot in a moment.
Yeah, they had like 5 huge songs.
Dude, these songs are just bringing me back to high school because that's when I got my first job.
Somebody that I used to know.
Ooh.
I didn't know that song was that early.
By Goat Yay or whatever.
Got E or whatever. Born This Way by Gaga. That's
Born This
think
Way.
about where you were at that time when those songs were real popular.
That
on
makes me
radio.
think of like literally high school, like dancing, because those songs were played at high school dances all the time. But this is the year that this is when I got my first job. I worked at I got a job at the local grocery store, Hy-Vee.
Midwesterners should know that.
Yeah, Midwesterner grocery store, Hy-Vee. It's a pretty cool grocery store. It's kind of gone downhill since, especially nowadays. People are, it's
I haven't been there in a while.
well, I don't know if you've read articles like,
Oh
they're
yeah, they had
laying-
like some weird shit happen. Yeah,
it's just getting chaotic. But it used to be really cool. It used to be like a really cool place to work. Everyone worked there.
like it was the best first job you could get because both
so I
my
s-
sisters worked there.
Yeah, I started there as a courtesy clerk. So I just begged groceries, got carts.
Were you good at it? As good as you could be.
I was fine at it. I remember you had to wear a tie, and that fucking sucked.
I would have hated that. So I remember my first job, I had to wear a polo, and it pissed me off.
Yeah, I had to wear a polo and a tie, and like I just not a tie person.
You look like a Mormon.
And then I upgraded into clerk. So I was a cashier, so I was checking people out.
Okay.
And that was kind of nice, but I still had to wear a tie.
But you were also checking people out.
I was checking people out, and it was kind of fun, because you just go scan, and that guy's pretty good at it.
Because
And,
also, if
hey, how's your day going?
If you have a person down there, all you have to do is scan
You
and
just
throw it to
throw it.
them.
Yeah, you just throw it.
Oh shit, that would be a great job.
Yeah, it was not. It was really great. And
Yeah.
sometimes I would be there. I'd like open up the store.
Okay.
I mean, it was 24 hours, but like I'd get there like at
Right,
6.
it used to be 24
Yeah,
hours.
which was cool, 'cause I'd get there
people would
at-
ask you when it closed, and you would say,
December 24th.
Yep.
5 p.m.
like they would ask you in like June. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that line. That was so funny.
That's one of those canned things that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you
You
say
got it
every
ready.
time.
Yeah.
But that was kind of fun because you just, scan people's groceries. It was nice like in the morning, and there'd be rushes around, breakfast time,
Yeah.
dinner time when people got off work. But I think I was pretty good at that.
All right, so when you're a cashier at like a grocery store, do you have to like go down aisles at all? Because at Walgreens you did.
So like for price checks and stuff, if you had to go look at something, you would send the courtesy people, or sometimes I wouldn't have them.
Yeah.
So then I would either call the manager. So I
Okay.
would go check it, and they would keep checking them out,
But if
or
you had,
they would go do
if you
it.
had no line, did you have to go walk around?
There's at Hy-Vee, there's multiple lines, so I would you never want to leave the customer there by themselves.
Okay, because
So
like Walgreens.
you call because there's always a front end manager. So there's always a manager walking the front end.
Well, I'm saying if it was like dead, would you have to like do other stuff?
Yeah. Oh, dead. Okay, that's what you mean.
Because like at Walgreens, there's a classic line: if you have time to lean, you have time to clean.
Usually around, so I would usually work like 5 to 10 as like my shift. Around like 9 o'clock, it would get like
Sure.
really slow. So from 9 to 10, and then the night shift would come in 9:30 ish. And sometimes we would go stock shelves, but also like the front end manager was also a guy in high school.
True. Yeah.
So sometimes I was just hanging out. I remember there was this really like cute girl I used to work with a lot. That was like low 20s, and I would just hang out. We would just hang out and talk, and
Nice.
it was. I mean, we would like clean our things, and
I remember when
we would watch the clock. And,
when I worked at Walgreens, I had a crush on a pharmacist. She was probably like 32.
yeah, but she was probably hot,
She was
and she's probably smart in making that money.
probably, yeah.
She's probably still doing it.
I still remember her,
loaded.
yeah.
There was a lot of people I had crushes on at my grocery store because people would come and go, employees all the time.
And like a lot of it was like people around our age.
But then I think I did pretty good at that because like the head of the store was like, "Hey, would you be interested in moving to a department?"
Ooh,
And I was like, "Fuck yeah."
department.
And he was
Rob.
like, "Do you want to?" Yeah, Department Rob. And he was like, "Do you want to go work in the bakery?" And I was like, "Hell yeah," because there's no tie.
And it's like that back. Oh yeah, you just got that dumb hat.
You just got the dumb hat and the button up, and you got like that, and you got to wear an apron. And I was like, "Dude, bakery sweets, like that sounds awesome."
Like
and
baking,
you're in the
yeah.
corner of the store,
You're
like
like a little French guy. Just,
French Rob.
Cinco. Or, no. Well,
Pico de gallo.
Yeah, that's what we always said. I
Pico de gallo.
I almost said Cinco de Mayo.
Roberto. But like, that was nice. So I would go, I worked in the bakery. Dude, my first bakery manager was the coolest person ever.
Okay.
His name was Jed. He ended up moving to Omaha to work in the Omaha bakery. But dude, what's crazy, full picture, is he found Gaming Off the Grid like year 2 of us doing it. And he's a home brewer now. And he sent us beer and we reviewed it on the channel.
Cool. All right, what is Gaming Off the Grid?
Oh, it's a channel about video games and craft beer. Check it out if you don't know it. It's my other side project.
Robert's one of the co-stars.
Dude, I was like, holy fuck, because that was my first boss.
That's weird.
And
Yeah,
he was
that's
like,
cool.
and so he like watched. Yeah, it was super cool. But I did the bakery for a while. I closed, and then I was like so good at closing. Like I was fast. Like that was like a job where, because it was just a checklist. You had to get this done.
Sure.
Plus clean everything. I closed by myself all the time because it was a small store. Only one person closed. I had a blast. I loved doing it. And then when I moved to college,
Well, also, while you were there, I got free donuts.
Oh, dude, I gave away so many free donuts, free cookies.
Yeah.
I would bring home because, dude, every day you would throw away donuts.
Plus, you were so close to our house that I could just like scoot on over there, bug you for a moment, and get free shit. It was awesome.
You throw away all the fresh stuff because you can't put it out the next
it's
day.
not fresh, yeah.
And you literally just throw it in the dumpster. Like that's literally there's such waste. And people would be like, I would put like discounted donuts up, but people would be like, why don't you donate? And I go,
They don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge.
Yeah, they just don't.
And also because like if it's literally been out for 14 hours.
Yeah, I think
at
it's
this
hard
point.
to donate like that food because if it was contaminated,
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
get
that's
in
why it
trouble.
gets it- that's why it's
That's
iffy.
like a weird fucking
because
thing.
it's not fresh when I'm throwing it away.
Yeah.
It's already getting stale.
And also
So by the time you donate it at 10 p.m.,
It's also weird, like giving like the needy like shitty food, but also I guess they need food. So like
Yeah, I
shitty
know.
food's
It's
food,
a
but like
tough-
it's still a weird line to cross.
it's
of
a
like,
tough thing.
here you go. Yeah.
But I remember transferring up to Ames when I went to college, and I worked in the bakery there, and that was a cool boss too.
Was it the same?
It was the same, but it was different because I would close sometimes, but I would close with like 2 or 3 people,
Oh,
and I was used to closing by myself, and I still worked in the mentality. So like literally,
you would try and do everything.
I did everything, and we would be done so early because I was so used to doing it fast. And my boss was like, "Dude, you're really fast." Like,
Oh, that's good.
like he like noticed, and he was like, so then he would assign me to shifts like by myself, and I just
Because you were used to that.
and
Yeah.
I just liked it because I was like, I would run a load of dishes and do that. Like I had it all figured out.
That's funny because like in college you were such a piece of shit. Like you didn't do anything.
I went to work.
Yeah, you were good at that.
Yeah, I went to work. It never missed it, and it was
Because preface, like I didn't finish college, you also didn't, but part of your reason was because you lived with an absolute stoner.
yeah. I smoked a ton of weed all the
All
time.
the time,
I partied all the time, but I did go to work. Like I would open days and be there at 6 a.m. all the time.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was fun. And then I moved back home and I transferred back to the bakery here. I worked in the
Gotcha.
bakery, and then I moved up to Ankeny, transferred to the bakery up in Ankeny. So I literally worked at Hy-Vee for like 5 years.
Wow.
And I worked in the bakery for like 4.
That's so good on your
But
resume.
yeah, but like it was like multiple stores, multiple bakeries,
Right.
multiple bosses. But dude, I was really good at it because I had opened, I had closed. They were in the process of training me to be a baker.
I mean, they also like, you think like you trained when you were like 16.
Yeah, I started when I was 16.
Did that till you were 21, 20?
Yeah, I did that till I was 20.
I mean, like the idea of learning a skill like that during those ages, like, yeah, it's going to be fucking honed
and,
in.
and literally all the stores were the same, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. I mean, obviously they evolved things and they added like fresh artisan bread, and that was kind of cool because I brought home a lot of good bread when I lived in Ankeny. Oh, I had so much bread in my freezer, dude. It was awesome.
Oh shit, that's not when I lived with you.
Oh,
Damn
dude,
it.
it was at my DMAC apartment.
I know that would have been nice
But
if
I was going to school for carpentry at the time. So when I graduated school, I literally before I graduated school for carpentry, I had a job.
That's how it was for what?
So I had to put my 2 weeks into Hy-Vee, and I was there for 5 years. But I was like, I went to school for this. I want.
How much were you making at the end of at Hy-Vee?
I think I was making at the end of Hy-Vee 11,
Which is crazy because I bet if you worked there right now, you'd probably make like 14 an hour.
which still isn't that much.
I mean, what do we make now? Like 19?
I make 19.
I think I make around 19.
But literally, like I was making 11, and then my carpenter job offered me 13, $2 an hour raise
That's so
for
weird.
a Monday through Friday normal, consistent job. And I was
True.
like, "Fuck yes!"
I think my
I was
first,
just ready for something new.
I think my first welding job offered me 15 an hour.
Holy shit!
I think.
But I started when I was still in school.
Me too.
And then
mine was like, but mine was only like 2 weeks or like a week before.
mine was like a couple months.
yeah, you
and
were
then-
there for a long because you were working school during the day.
Yeah, I did school from 8 to noon, and then 2 to 10 work.
Or at least it was only 8 to noon. So but fuck, that's
Yeah,
only 2
4-hour
hours.
school, 8-hour work, and I
Oh.
would bike to work because I didn't have a
Jesus
car.
Christ. No, that is rough. That's very rough.
But it was awesome. But then I remember when I first started at my carpenter job, which I was at this job for 5 years too.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, that's why I said I've only had 4 jobs.
I guess I've had one job for 4 years, I think.
Yeah, well, when you get in a field like a Hy-Vee, I was at 4 different stores.
And you could ship. You could go wherever you
But
were.
then, when I first started at my carpenter job, I was working in the shop. I was running the CNC, and I remember getting calls from Hy-Vee being like, "Hey, we need a full-time baker. Will you come back?" Like because I knew that I was good.
Did you ever consider it?
They called me, and I remember talking to them on the phone while I'm running the CNC at my job, just going, "No, this is what
You went to school
This is
for
what I went to
it.
school for. This is what I want to do." And plus, I'm making like $2 more an hour, and they offered to pay me more, but it was like still like maybe $11.75.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Like that's all they could. And I was like, I'm making 13.
Yeah.
So I was at this job for 5 years, and I literally transferred. I did all the departments. I literally worked custom. I worked in the
what kind of carpentry though?
So cabinets. We did a lot of commercial buildings.
Okay.
So I
On
did.
site, or you would make it?
I
and
worked
then
in the
ship
I
it?
worked in the shop,
Okay.
so I did everything on site. So I worked in the box line, which is box cabinets, for like kitchens and
Is
stuff
that
like
just
that.
the idea of a more standard cabinet?
Yeah, just box.
What like
like
I would keep my plates in. Yeah.
yeah, base cabinets and upper cabinets. I did that for a little bit, and then I was custom. I built reception desks. I built
Oh,
that was really cool. Except I was young and I did things really fast, and I wasn't the greatest at it.
that's how I was at welding too.
But I was like, I felt cocky because
Because my thing was all I wanted to be was fast because that's what they cared about. Because
Yeah.
they're like, hey, you're not working fast enough. So I'd work too fast and just not do a great job.
I just had a fast mentality because of the bakery.
Sure.
And it was also like,
Show
you
your
don't
worth.
have to. Yeah, I wanted to be like, I can get this done quick. But then
Yeah.
I was also like, well, it's not quite right.
Yeah.
But I've done a couple of reception desks that are in hotels in West Des Moines. And I've seen
that's
the reception
fun.
desk
Yeah.
on the front page of the website. Like I'm like, yeah, I built
That's
that. I
really
built that.
cool.
And then I went on to do like medical cabinets for a little bit. I did finish. I even went to the field for a little bit, and then I transferred and worked in the office for 2 years at this place.
What'd you do in the office?
I was an engineer.
So, like,
I,
designing
Yeah, I
cabinets?
designed cabinets. I had a 3-screen monitor. I ran AutoCAD. Like it was like I did every position at this job.
yeah.
COVID hit, massive layoffs.
Yeah.
They let off like literally a third to half of their employees.
That's what happened for my first welding job.
And I was one of them, even though I was there for 5 years. So then I was like, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I got a job at FedEx.
And then you convinced me to get a job
Because
at FedEx.
FedEx was so fucking easy.
Yeah.
At least for me, because I would get there at 9 and be done by 2:33.
You had an easier FedEx job than I did.
But I was doing rural I can never say that.
rural.
Areas. And some of my routes I'd have to drive an hour and a half out of town.
You still got done way before I did.
I still
Yeah.
got done way
So
before
it was
you
easier,
did.
yeah.
It was way easier. I was just throwing a podcast and just have fun. But
Because I do that, but I'm there till like 4.
I did that for about 8 months and it wasn't too bad. But then I was like, I want to get back into carpentry. And I went to school for it. So I found a job back into it at a smaller company. And I've been there ever since I've been there for almost a year now, dude. But
Yeah.
I've literally been doing carpentry for 6 years, went to school for it, was at a grocery store for 5 years and just FedEx as a filler.
Weird. And
So that's
and FedEx is my career right now.
four jobs in
That's crazy.
11 years.
That's good though.
Yeah, but now I've been at my company now for almost a year, and sometimes I'm like, is this what I want to do?
That's how I feel about FedEx right now. Well, FedEx I know is not what I want to do.
But I guess that's with every job. It's like
There's always something better.
There are days where it's bullshit.
Well, because you know what I want to do? Moist Monday podcast.
Moist Monday podcast, freak show shit. You want to do fun stuff,
Right.
Obviously,
Also stuff I've put passion into, I guess.
yeah. But also, like, we kind of put passion into. I mean, you're not doing it right now, but I kind of put passion and stuff into going to school for carpentry.
Sure. Yeah. I put no passion in my work right now.
But like, it's like.
It's fine. It's enough.
But then there are days where it's like, oh, I kind of like this, and it's fun. And when I take before and after photos, I'm like, that's actually really.
I really like
that's
seeing you
actually
do that,
really
yeah.
cool. But
I do miss building shit. I do get jealous when I see like the
because
cool
you
shit you're
get
building
that, you get that satisfaction of being like, I fucking did that.
with my hands.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool.
And then you just take the photo just to be like brag.
Yeah.
But yeah,
'Cause I'm never
work is a
like-
weird thing, and it's gonna be weird. Like in 10 years, what is our work? Because I don't know.
fucking knows?
When I was in my first carpenter job, I thought I was just gonna maybe
Does it?
stay
Yeah.
there. You
That's
know,
what I thought for my welding jobs.
and I'm on my second job after that. You know, it's weird.
'Cause how many jobs have I had? So when Walgreens, Journeys, do I count Fairway?
And I don't think so.
No. Okay. So
Because you never actually worked, but that is a funny thing to throw in there.
yeah. So Walgreens, Journeys, movie theater. Am I forgetting one? I don't think so. Movie theater, Tropical Snow, Pizza Hut, welding, FedEx.
8, and I've had 5.
And I've worked I've attempted to work all of them for at least a year.
Yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I was trying to build this resume because it looks great. Like, I was at the grocery store for 5 years. I was
yeah.
at my first job for 5 years. My second job, my carpenter job for 5 years.
And
like,
FedEx was a filler.
FedEx was like, yeah, because it's like, oh,
got laid
I
off.
drive. Yeah, because like, that's what I say. I got laid off, so I had to get something.
And then I missed building shit. No, that's great for carpentry application
looks-
to explain that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks great. And then, but now I'm like, do I want to keep working? It's just a tough thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because like my thing is like
I just hope something takes off, but I'm
Me
not.
too.
We're not even close to the point of that even being a thing. So.
right, yeah. Because also my thing is like, I kind of wish there's times where I wish I would have stayed in college and gotten like a real degree.
Yeah, but then you're working like a desk job and like
Yeah, true.
I did a desk job for 2 years, like doing engineering and AutoCAD, and it was great at first, put on headphones, have 3 monitors, design shit. But then after a while, there were days where I didn't talk to fucking nobody. And
I'll
like,
talk to anybody at my job
and-
now. But also I like that.
but you're outside moving.
Yeah.
I was stuck at a desk, not
Yeah.
talking to anyone. And after a while, I was like, dude, I can't sit still.
Yeah.
Like I had to move. That's why I liked FedEx, because I was still moving.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't. And sometimes you talk to customers, you say, hey, how you
I
doing?
hate talking. The customers are so stupid.
Yeah, but I mean,
They're all the
this
worst.
is like
'Cause
headphones in.
Also, do you know what my first stop of the day is?
What?
Fucking Walgreens.
Is it really?
And I deal with like
it's just a
other
rub.
just
It's
like
so funny if it's the Walgreens that you started at.
I've gone there before, but my manager is no longer there either because obviously
you
he
just
did not.
deliver to the movie theater, Walgreens, Journeys, and everyone's just like, look at you.
I
It's
mean,
just all the same people.
making more than I did when I worked there, so that's a plus. Technically, this is the most I've ever made.
Yeah, hourly. But
Yeah.
it's daily salary, which is weird.
But like, even if I work like an 8-hour shift, it's still more than I made hourly,
Oh, because when I did FedEx, I only worked 6 hours a day.
which meant you made like 30 an hour.
Yeah, I was making like 23,
Yeah.
24 bucks an hour, which is insane.
But if you worked an 8-hour day at what we made, you make like 18 something,
Which is still really-
close to 19,
which
yeah.
is still really good.
And more than I made as a welder, which I went to college for.
Which, dude, that's the frustrating part is like you went to school for it, but then also it's so easy to deliver packages.
Well, I went to school for it, and then also they treated me like shit. Or the company I liked, and they still laid me off, which I don't blame them for because they had 6 employees. They only kept 3.
Damn, that's a small company.
Yeah, which I fucking love. All right, I'm sure we're pretty.
Oh, we're way over.
Yeah, all right. As someone who also built shit, and if we have photos, share it. What are you most proud of that you've built?
I think the most thing this is tough, dude. Because I built a lot of cool shit while I was in school that I still have.
True.
Like that, I have a chessboard made out of accordion.
Not even a chessboard, a full table.
Chess table, because I made the wooden table, and then I have like this really nice wooden table with this custom veneered top that's fucking badass that has a drawer in it and a front. But that was in school, and like that wasn't. It was just kind of like you designed it yourself and you built, but it's still fucking cool.
That seems like the coolest thing. Yeah.
I've done some really cool kitchens, but like it hasn't just been 100% me.
Right.
But it's still cool seeing the before and after. I have stuff posted on my Instagram. I don't know, dude. It's tough because like when I was working in my first job, we did mostly like commercial stuff.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't anything super cool. Like when I did medical cabinets for probably a year, and it was just all these white cabinets.
Yeah.
But we made a ton of money on them, and like that, it was me and this other dude, and we were just in our own department, and it was like you have to get this order done in a week,
Right.
and it was kind of nice because it was just like, all right, if we fuck around one day, we're gonna have to really hit it hard tomorrow, so we
Okay.
have to get it done by Monday.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I've made some pretty cool stuff, and it's just
your
I
chess
just-
table's badass.
I just like seeing the before and after of
know.
things.
I do miss that.
When I go, because I do a lot of residential stuff now, I'll go into houses and it's literally just drywall, bare floors, and then I'll just take a photo of that and then literally throw cabinets in there, put up crown, and then I go,
boom.
wow, that looks good.
Yeah, and you did it. Because I think my favorite thing I ever built was there was one order where they put me in charge of it, and I've told this story before, but it was because this was what broke my nose. It was 22 truck beds.
Yeah.
And I was super proud of that. And then also I remember because our main industry was trenching equipment, which those are fucking huge.
Oh, to dig trenches. Yeah, that would make sense.
Like, and I remember I built like the cab for one. It was like just
it's so crazy, like, because obviously it's a trade, but it's just so crazy thinking about how different welding is than just messing around with wood.
well, because my issue if I do something with wood, if something's not like perfectly lined up, I'll smack it with a hammer and just fucking ruin it.
Yeah, it's down.
Because with welding, you can just beat the shit out of the stuff because it's metal.
You got to be super careful with wood, and you got to put a block up if you're gonna hit it with a hammer to help get
But
it
like
in.
welding doesn't fucking matter because if you need to move an inch, you have to hit it hard.
Or what sucks about working with wood is I'd probably say 30% of it is sanding.
Yeah, that's fair.
Luckily,
but
not.
welding's grinding,
Yeah,
and that's fucking. I am missing a piece of my kneecap because of a grinding incident.
Jesus Christ!
And that was one
yeah.
of my favorite things I ever built. So I remember I did a 9-foot weld.
And then you had to grind it. And
I had
then,
to clean it, yeah. but it was like a 9-foot long piece. So I was welding and I had to keep like scooting across.
And you did it one continuous.
Yep.
Holy, for 9 feet?
Yeah, you're not even supposed to do that because the machine overheats. But I was like, I want to fucking try.
And you're just like, I'm going to do the biggest line possible.
And it looked great. And then I had to clean it. And then I took out a piece of my kneecap.
Jesus.
I just tapped it with a grinder. Yep.
And whoo.
Still gone.
Ouchie. That would fucking hurt. Wow. This episode, I want to talk about one of my topics. It literally started off with McDonald's and then we talked to our whole job history.
Which, I mean, now, do you know what our job history is from here on out?
Podcasting.
Fucking Moist Monday.
Fucking Moist Monday. You're listening to the Moist Monday
Cheers,
podcast.
brother.
Cheers. Make sure you follow us on social media. TikTok, Instagram at Moist Monday Podcast. Send us an email at moistmondaypodcast@gmail.com.
Ooh, because next episode we'll read some emails that we've received lately.
We have received
They're
some
coming
few.
in and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. Send us more. We like interaction.
Tell us about anything about your shitty job history, about anything we've ever talked about until now.
What's going to be crazy is like, this is going to come out way later. And then
we'll forget.
It's going to be like the whole back and forth. People are like, what?
Yeah.
People are so confused, but please just send us an email. We love hearing from you. Comment on YouTube if you watch us on YouTube, because I know at least a few of you do. I see the numbers.
Alicia lets us know. We're so happy.
Rate us, review us on all the podcasting apps. We really appreciate it. Share it with your friends and family. Share it with your enemies.
If you hate it.
Yeah, we just are trying to spread the cult that is Moist Monday.
And if you ever have a drink on a Monday, please take a picture of it, post Moist Monday, tag us in it. We will share it. We will love it.
Please, dude, because
anywhere, everywhere, we want to see everyone getting moist on these Mondays.
we love seeing a Moist Monday. We love getting moist on a Monday.
Because it's the worst day of the week. It's the worst word. Let's fucking bring it back.
Let's fucking bring it together and let's own it and let's can we? I would just love if like a shitty dive bar had Moist Monday specials, or like, you know, like what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I want it to become something because it's something so good.
All right, so keep your Mondays moist and cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Dry bones, lazy bones, big bones, dance around in your bones.